What do you get when you combine 9 months of effort, a whole lot of work, and a little bit of love? Well, no, it's not a kid. It's not a kid. Howdy hey, Hipyo Tech here, and today I'm going to show you something I'm incredibly proud of. Now, it's still a keyboard build. We're building a keyboard. The Portico, in fact, it's going to be great. But this keyboard's a little bit more personal to me because it's using a keycap set that I made, Infinikey Delight. You can get it for a limited time right now with the link in the description, but we'll talk about that more later. Also, I'll be building it out with tactile switches that I actually like, and this is a first from me. The SP Stars. We'll talk about these a little bit more later. Wait, what's that, Chip? A bunch of people aren't subscribed? What? YouTube might have unsubscribed them and they can resubscribe for free? Oh, okay. Well, they better hit that, Chip. Yeah. If I had $1 for every time people asked me to review the Portico, well, I'd have at least enough to buy the Portico. In this case, I didn't actually have to buy it, and the key company sent one out for review. Now, a little bit like my keycaps that we'll be checking out later, the Portico is short and sweet. Except for this cable. This cable is long and really annoying. I absolutely hate these telephone cables. Anyways, the Portico also comes with a set of equals stabilizers. These are pretty decent, and we'll be putting these to the test later. And this is what makes the Portico special. It's foam gaskets. Well, although at this point, foam gaskets really aren't that special. A lot of boards have them. But hey, they're neat. Supposedly, this makes the board a little bit softer to type on, but we'll be putting that to the test, don't you worry. And screws, bonus screws, yeehaw, and bonus rubber feet as well. This is always good to see. Now, I know there's a lot of you out there that are probably thinking, well, what the heck is the Portico? And also, I'm new to keyboards, what the heck is a keyboard? Well, the Portico is a 65% keyboard from the key company. 65% keyboards retain the arrow keys and get rid of the F row. This bad boy is currently out of stock, but when it was for sale, it came in at $135 US, or I think 120 if you pre-ordered it. This puts it at a rather competitive spot in the budget 65% market, and it also comes with some really nice features like an FR4 plate, foam in between the plate, south-facing LEDs, and hot swap sockets so you don't have to solder. Now you're probably thinking, oh geez, Hipyo, that's a lot of jargon. Yep, nah, that's really all I got, that's a lot of jargon. The back is a lot less eventful. And I really can't decide if this badge is tacky or neat, but it's there whether you like it or not. Now, the Portico comes in a bunch of different colors, but they're all some form of translucent polycarbonate. Those of you that have watched my channel for a while know that I think this just generally looks like a cheap Game Boy, but you know, now we're paying $130 for it. But that's just a personal preference gripe type of thing, you know? Anyways, this keyboard comes as a DIY kit, which means that we have to take it apart and fully assemble it ourselves. Now, this is what we call fun in the keyboard hobby, and you know, it gives you a little bit of tinkering. It also allows you the ability to choose whatever switches and keycaps you want to put on it, which will be very helpful for later in the video. After unscrewing the metric booty ton of screws on the bottom, it reveals the plate PCB and this very nice little silicone filler weight. This adds a lot of weight and helps dampen the sound so you get a deeper sound rather than just a Ping City plastic case. Although I do feel like this does a bit of a worse job than something like the NK65 from Novel Keys. Now that we've removed the plate and PCB, you can see the gaskets, which we'll talk about a lot more later. And you can also see a lot more screws. My gosh. I don't know what the deal is with these budget boards and having a million screws, but that's gotta be the most frustrating part of this whole process. Taking off the plate reveals this nice little felt dampener. I think felt's gotta be doing something unique here as this board has a very interesting sound profile. But in order to achieve that interesting sound profile, we need to build the keyboard first, which involves lubing the stabilizers. For some reason I'm incredibly dumb and didn't get any of the footage of lubing the stabilizers, but I've got a lot of videos that might pop up in the top right that'll show you how. Stabilizer time. Anyways, I used all my creative energy on this keycap set instead of my jokes this video. These stabilizers are screw-in stabilizers, so installing them was a little bit annoying, but not the worst thing in the world. Then I had to put the felt back on, screw the plate back in, and take a look at those gaskets. From how little squish I was getting here, I was expecting these to be pretty bad, but they did surprise me later. Anyways, I'm plopping this bad boy back in the case, and it's time for the final assembly. Well, more of like the pre-final assembly. I guess now's a good time to explain the gasket mount. So the plate and PCB sit in between the top and bottom housing and aren't screwed into them directly. This is opposed to something like a tray mount or top mount where the plate and PCB are secured to the case itself. Now, mounting style is definitely a preference thing, and I encourage you to try it out a little bit, but it gives it this nice little flex. Anyways, speaking of flex, let me flex on all you Linear Gang users with these tactiles. These are SP Star switches, and you can get them at the link in the description and save a little bit using code Hipyo. Now, I can confidently shill for these because they're like basically the only tactile switch I've ever really enjoyed. Like most of the time with tactile switches, I can go, oh yeah, I could see how people would like this, but I don't like this. But for this one, I actually do kind of like them. I'd say the bump on these isn't too aggressive, unlike the Holy Pandas, and I was really pleasantly surprised. Although, here's my gripe. They only come in 67-gram springs, which is way too heavy for my daily use. Like, I might have strong rock climber hands, but my fingers just don't like heavy switches. Also, I guess here's another gripe. They only sell them in packs of 25, which I think is really, really annoying. If you're a 75% gang member, and you've got like 82 switches in your board, then you have to buy 4 sets. But I digress. These were lubed with Carbon GS2, which is a lube from Kinetic Labs, link in description. And honestly, they turned out pretty great. But that's enough chatting about switches. It's time to get to the good stuff, the reason why you're here. Or maybe not, who knows. So, I spent the last 9 months, well, maybe 10, I started in November, developing this keycap set called Infinikey Delight. Now you're probably thinking, oh, how did it take like 9 months to develop a keycap set? That would probably not take that long. Well, this is a keycap set where I have prototypes in my hands. So I actually get to show off the keycaps rather than renders. We went through multiple prototyping stages to make sure the color looked exactly how I wanted, and to make sure everything was good enough for production. These are die sub PBT keycaps, and they're pretty freaking thick. Now, because these are die sub, the legends are printed on rather than shot with plastic. So it's not going to be as sharp as something like GMK, but I think from an average viewing distance, these look great. You're probably thinking, Hipyo, what's the theme of these? I don't think anyone was thinking that, but the theme of these is desserts and sweet treats. Now, I put strawberries on my mint chip ice creams, and I thought more people did that, but apparently nobody does that. So I retooled the theme a little bit to fit other forms of desserts. Speaking of tooling, I made this base kit support ISO, at least lightly. Now, this keycap set is available for purchase only until September 20th. I've got international vendors available, and you can click that link down in the description to purchase them. If you use code Hipyo on the US vendor, you can save 3%. I know that's not a lot, but you know, we tried. Now, understandably for some of you, the base kit price of $110 US might be a little bit too crazy, but these are shipping in 4 months, which is a heck of a lot faster than any GMK set. The reason why the base kit's so expensive is we're air shipping all of the sets. But you can buy the novelties separately if you'd like. And I'm running a giveaway for 2 base kits. Check that link down in the description. Some of you might be wondering what color the alpha color actually is, and the best way to describe it is a yellowish cream. From left to right, we have IFK Delight, GMK Future Funk, and IFK Cafe. For some reason that was a mouthful. But here's them under normal lighting, shaded hand lighting, and bright studio lighting. Anyways, let's put these prototype keycaps on my board and get ready to go. Yeah, applying keycaps isn't that fast in person. Also, sorry if I sound really tired or out of breath in this video. The wildfire smoke in California has been very bad this last month, and you know, we're really trying our best. But anyways, I think these keycaps look great on the Portico, but I'm just gonna change the pink accent to green accent. Personally, I think all green is really the way to go, although pink accents are nice from time to time. With all green, you've got a perfect little mint chip ice cream vibe, and that's pretty nice, or like a matcha something. Now, I guess I can go back to talking about the Portico for a second. This Portico really did blow me away. Personally, I like the typing experience more than something like the NK65 Entry Edition, but it did sound less deep and thawky as the NK65. But thawk means nothing, so anyways. Also, these novelties are incredibly cute and designed by a friend of mine. You can kind of just go crazy and put 1,000,000 of them on your keyboard if you want, but I don't really recommend it because that is a lot. I guess I call it like the novelty equivalent of a sticker bomb or something like that. But when you guys do get these keycaps, I'd love to see what creations you actually make. As I mentioned before, they should be shipping out January, which is pretty awesome. So come January, make sure you show me all of your nice little dessert creations. Last but not least, here's a quick little sneak peek at the gasket performance. It's pretty nice. I was pretty impressed here. Not bad for a budget board. But you know what is cool? The sound test I'll be leaving you with. Please watch the whole thing to support my YouTube algorithm overlords, or they won't let me eat. Seriously. Anyways, a special thank you to Ireek Havoc, Elusive Salvation, Nightstalker, The Mr. Man, Joseph Kerrang, Rosie Ray, and Aquarius Keyboards for hitting that join button down below. Bye!